Hello, I'm Sarah McGregor with Cherry Bekaert, and today I'm joined by Yancey, who is a director in our state and local tax practice. Ann specializes in credits and incentives, and she's going to tell us about the retention tax credit for employers who have helped out their employees during the hurricane disasters. So Ann, tell us about this new credit.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. This credit is called the Employee Retention Tax Credit, and it's a credit for employers that have continued to pay their workers during the disaster periods for each of the hurricanes. So we're talking about here Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, and Hurricane Maria. By the way, no word yet on whether Hurricane Nate is going to be included in this tax credit, but we'll find out more about that a little bit later. The credit is going to be 40% of the wages that are paid to the employees, and that's up to $6,000 in eligible wages. So we're talking about a $2,400 per person tax credit for each eligible employee. Now this tax legislation is full of a bunch of definitions, so that's really what companies need to be aware of. So we're going to define some of the elements of the credit. So one, you have to be an eligible employer. That means you had an active trade or business that was located within the disaster area, and that same business became inoperable due to damages from one of the storms. The second criteria is that you have eligible employees. Eligible employees are ones that worked at their principal place of business that was located in the disaster area, and that, more importantly, were paid by their employer during the period of time that the company was inoperable. So, Sarah, I think there's going to be a lot of significant relief for companies that have been damaged during the hurricanes through these tax credits. But again,
so we're talking about a company that had to shut down because of the hurricanes and really could not function during that time. Did that apply just after the storms hit, or did that happen before the storms hit?
So the way the current legislation is written, the language for the wages that are eligible for the tax credit include wages that are paid from the date a company becomes inoperable through the time period that they resumed significant business operations. It also includes within that same time period the disaster periods where those same wages must be paid from the date of each of the hurricanes. And so for Hurricane Harvey, beginning with August 23rd through the end of the year, Irma September 4th through the end of the year, and Maria September 16th, any of those wages that were paid to the employees, again, once you became inoperable through the period of time that you resumed operations, must fall within these separate disaster periods beginning on the dates that are listed on the screen.
So, Ann, if I'm a construction company and I had employees that couldn't work at a job site that was damaged by the storm, but I moved those employees and put them to work at a job site that was not damaged by the storm, can I still get the credit?
Absolutely. The way the legislation is written, the credit is available for eligible employees regardless of whether they have resumed work, whether they resumed work at a different location, or whether they had to go to another site to work.
Great.
So construction definitely will have instances where employees may have had to jump sites and jump to other locations, and that will not be considered resumed operations.
So I'm guessing that there's still some open questions about how this new law will work.
Absolutely. Just with the definitions that we've talked about, A lot of these have not been clearly defined in the current legislation, so I think we'll hear more guidance about specific facts around what these items mean. For instance, a business has to be inoperable to be eligible for the credit, but what does inoperable mean? Does it mean we're inoperable if I have an office in the disaster area, but my people can work from home? I don't know the answer to that. We're going to find out more a little bit later on. Again, resumed significant operations. We don't know exactly what the IRS intends that to mean. We think both of these items will be very facts and circumstances driven for each particular company. So just stay tuned. We'll find out more definitively on some of these items.
So IRS should be getting us out some more guidance in this area.
Absolutely. This is not the first time there has been a hurricane retention tax credit. We've had this credit before with Hurricane Katrina and also with some of the Midwest tornadoes over the last 10 years. So we expect there will be similar guidance provided with more specific fact patterns. But again, I think now we have a different type of workforce where we have a more mobile workforce where people are working from home. So I think they'll give more clarity around some of the specific situations that today's workforce faces.
Great. Well, thank you, Ann. This sounds like a credit that could be really helpful to employers as they have tried to be helpful to their employees to continue to pay them during the time that their businesses were closed or shut, or found new places to deploy those employees, and these businesses are recovering themselves. So thank you. And for those of you who would like more information about this credit, please check out our website, cbh.com.
Thank you.